What is up, everyone? Today, we're diving into the wildest images from the 2024 cold blast that froze the entire eastern US. Cities became ice sculptures, nature turned into art, and we've got the most jaw-dropping photos and videos to prove it. This isn't your average weather report. Think of it as a visual roller coaster of nature's raw power. We're moving fast, from Niagara Falls frozen solid to New York City buried in snow. Every image is more mind-blowing than the last, so don't blink. Get ready to witness history as Mother Nature takes center stage. The 2024 deep freeze starts right now. Kicking things off with a spectacle, Niagara Falls, frozen in time. The entire waterfall, millions of gallons halted, mist frozen mid-air, every rock and tree coated in ice. It looked like a colossal ice fortress, silent except for the creaking of the ice. Drone shots reveal intricate ice patterns, blue-green tunnels beneath the sheets, and a landscape that feels otherworldly. The falls became a monument to nature's power, drawing crowds who braved the cold just to see it. Every photo tells a story of a world held captive by ice. Even the trees look like glass, branches heavy with frozen spray. No matter how advanced we get, nature can still leave us speechless. If Niagara Falls can freeze, imagine what happened everywhere else. This is just the beginning. Let's keep going. Next up, New York City. Usually buzzing, now buried under a blizzard. The city that never sleeps was forced to pause, its heartbeat muffled by a thick, relentless blanket of snow. For a place known for its constant motion, the sudden stillness was almost surreal. Streets once packed with cabs, honking horns and hurried footsteps, gone. In their place, endless snow, silence, and a sense of eerie calm. The usual chaos of Manhattan was replaced by a quiet that felt both peaceful and unsettling, as if the city itself was holding its breath. Times Square's neon lights flickered, casting colorful glows on untouched drifts. Cars, usually jostling for space, now sat entombed beneath mounds of snow frozen in time. Avenues transformed into snowy parking lots, their familiar lines and lanes erased by nature's hand. The city's sharp edges, its skyscrapers, stoops and street corners, were softened, every surface rounded and smooth under the storm's weight. The snow seemed to sculpt the city anew, blurring the lines between buildings and sky. In Central Park, kids made the most of the winter wonderland, building snowmen and launching snowballs. Parents trudged through knee-deep drifts bundled up against the biting wind, while the skyline loomed behind them, more dramatic and mysterious than ever. Even the subways, usually pulsing with life, stood empty and silent. Manhattan's relentless energy was forced into hibernation. The city's rhythm slowed to a crawl. From the Bronx to Staten Island, every borough was hit. No neighborhood was spared. Snow-blanketed brownstones, high-rises, and row houses alike, uniting the city in a rare moment of shared stillness. The transformation was total, a citywide shutdown. Stores shuttered, avenues blocked, and the usual hum of activity replaced by the soft crunch of boots on snow. Seeing Manhattan like a post-apocalyptic movie? Unforgettable. The city's iconic skyline, usually a symbol of unstoppable progress, looked frozen in time, as if waiting for the world to start turning again. Even the Big Apple was no match for the storm. Landmarks like the Empire State Building and the Statue of Liberty were nearly lost in the swirling white, reminders of how small even the greatest cities can seem against nature's power. For a few days, it was the big snowball, a metropolis transformed into a frozen wonderland, both beautiful and humbling. The city's spirit was tested, but the visuals were breathtaking. New Yorkers paused to admire the rare beauty, capturing memories of a city both familiar and utterly changed. But New York wasn't alone. Let's see what happened in the nation's capital. Now to Washington, D.C., where a powerful winter storm swept through the city, transforming its iconic monuments into breathtaking works of art. The familiar landmarks, usually bustling with visitors and activity, were suddenly cast in a new dramatic light, blanketed in snow and ice, their forms softened and made even more striking by the elements. The Lincoln Memorial sat in profound silence, its marble steps covered in a pristine layer of untouched snow. The reflecting pool, usually shimmering with a movement of water and the reflections of tourists, was now a solid, frozen mirror, capturing the stillness of the moment and amplifying the monument's solemn presence. The Washington Monument, towering above the city, pierced the stormy sky. Its sharp silhouette stood out against the swirling snow, looking even more imposing and steadfast than usual, as if guarding the Capitol through the harshest of winters. At the World War II Memorial, the fountains had frozen mid-spray, turning the site into a surreal ice sculpture garden. The water, caught in motion, formed bizarre and beautiful shapes, as if time itself had stopped to admire the scene. The National Mall stretched out as a vast, empty expanse of white. With hardly a soul in sight, the historic structures lining the mall stood strong and silent, their outlines softened by the snow, yet their significance undiminished. The cold added a layer of gravity to the city, stripping away the usual distractions of crowds and noise. What remained were the core symbols of the nation, monuments and memorials, their details highlighted by the snow and ice, inviting quiet reflection. In this frozen landscape, the monuments became powerful visual metaphors for resilience and endurance. Their ability to withstand the elements echoed the strength and perseverance they were built to honor. These landmarks endured the brutal cold, their histories seemingly frozen in time. The ice and snow preserved their stories, making them feel both timeless and immediate, as if the past and present had merged in the winter air. The storm didn't just cover DC in snow, it amplified the significance of its monuments. The dramatic weather highlighted their forms and meanings, making them stand out in ways rarely seen. The silence and whiteness of the city made you stop and really look. With the usual hustle and bustle gone, there was space to appreciate the artistry and symbolism of each monument, to feel the weight of history in the quiet. Even in the harshest conditions, these icons stood tall, unwavering against the storm. Their presence was a reminder of the enduring spirit of the nation, and the stories etched into their stone and bronze. As the snow continued to fall, Washington, D.C. was transformed into a city of icy monuments, each one a testament to resilience. Now, let's head back to New York, where the winter storm brought its own magical transformation. Central Park was utterly transformed, becoming a sparkling crystal forest that looked as if it had been conjured from the pages of a fairy tale. The familiar green heart of Manhattan was now unrecognizable, every inch shimmering with a magical icy glow. Overnight, freezing rain and relentless sub-zero temperatures worked together to coat every tree, every branch, and every leaf in a delicate, glassy layer of ice. The park's towering elms and maples were suddenly encased in crystal, their branches bending under the weight, sparkling with every movement of the wind. When the morning sun finally broke through the clouds, the entire park lit up like a forest made of diamonds. Sunbeams danced across the ice, scattering rainbows and dazzling anyone lucky enough to witness the spectacle. Hoarfrost clung to every surface on a massive scale, branches grew heavy with their icy coats, and even the most familiar park landmarks seemed to be under a spell, transformed into something out of a winter fantasy. The Bow Bridge, Bethesda Terrace, and even the statues that usually stand watch over the park were draped in shimmering icicles, each one catching the light and adding to the sense of enchantment. In this frozen wonderland, silence reigned. The usual city noise faded away, replaced by the soft crunch of footsteps on icy paths and the delicate tinkle of ice falling from the trees above. It was as if the city itself was holding its breath, awed by the transformation. For a brief moment, Central Park became a sanctuary of serene beauty, a peaceful escape from the chaos and energy of the city that surrounds it. The snow muffled every sound, creating a world that felt untouched and almost sacred. Every surface was painted with frost. Benches, lampposts, and stone walls all wore a sparkling coat of ice. Even the smallest details, like the ironwork on fences or the tops of trash cans, were transformed into works of art by nature's hand. For those brave enough to venture out into the cold, it was a once-in-a-lifetime sight. People wandered the paths in awe, bundled up against the chill, pausing to take photos and simply marvel at the beauty all around them. Central Park had become a magical kingdom, a forest of crystalline light, where the ordinary was made extraordinary by the power of winter's touch. Everywhere you looked, nature's artistry was on full display, intricate ice patterns, frosty textures, and delicate designs that seemed almost too perfect to be real. But Central Park wasn't the only place to feel winter's magic. Now, let's see how Boston faced the freeze. Boston knows winter, but this cold blast was next level. The real story, the people, bundled up like astronauts, eyes peeking out, every breath a cloud of vapor. The wind was relentless, but Bostonians pushed forward, step by step. The T struggled, but workers braved the cold to keep the city moving. Residents adapted, skiing down streets, using snowshoes for errands. Even daily routines became heroic efforts. Chipping ice off cars, digging out doorways, everyone pitched in. These images aren't just about cold, they're about community and grit. Boston's spirit is unbreakable, the response a force of character. The storm was fierce, but the people were fiercer. These photos are portraits of strength and endurance. Let's head to Philadelphia, where the rivers froze. In Philly, the cold blast did the unthinkable, froze the Delaware and Schuylkill rivers. Massive ice flows choked the waterways, a rare and startling sight. The Delaware became a slow-moving slush, huge plates of ice grinding downstream. The Benjamin Franklin Bridge towered over an Arctic scene. River transport halted, ferries canceled, ships inching through with icebreakers. Boathouse Row was silent, docks locked in ice, the river a snowy field. The city's lifeblood was suffocated by the freeze. These powerful rivers tamed by cold showed the scale of the event. It wasn't just land, waterways were transformed too. The frozen rivers were a dramatic signal. This was no ordinary cold snap. Let's see the heroes who kept cities moving. Amid the chaos, snowplow operators became the unsung heroes. While most stayed inside, they battled blizzards to clear roads and keep cities alive. Plowing through drifts several feet high, often in near-zero visibility, was relentless work. Massive plows, lights cutting through snow, pushed back walls of white. It was a war of attrition. clear a road, and snow covered it again. Without them, emergency services and supplies would grind to a halt. Convoys of plows worked in formation, a ballet of heavy machinery. Their tireless effort kept society functioning. These are the true warriors of winter. Now let's look up. Danger was falling from above. The cold didn't just transform the ground, it changed the skyline. Massive icicles, or ice daggers, hung from skyscrapers, some several feet long. Walking below became risky. Authorities cordoned off blocks to prevent injuries. These weren't ordinary icicles. They were monstrous, glittering and dangerous. Formed as rooftop snow melted and refroze, they added a menacing edge to city skylines. Telephoto shots show their scale and detail, nature reclaiming urban spaces. Modern architecture was decorated with jagged natural sculptures. The threat wasn't just snow on the ground, it came from above. Beautiful, but deadly, these icicles were a constant reminder of the cold's power. Now let's see what happened on the highways. When the storm won, highways became graveyards of abandoned cars. Aerial shots show hundreds of vehicles scattered, half buried in snow, chaos frozen in place. These weren't traffic jams, they were monuments to the storm's intensity. Each car tells a story. Journeys interrupted, families stranded, truckers stuck. The storm escalated fast. Roads passable one moment, impassable the next. Emergency services struggled to reach people, blocked by the sheer number of abandoned vehicles. Highways, symbols of freedom, became parking lots of frozen defeat. It's a humbling reminder. Sometimes, all you can do is get out and walk. But after the storm, a new day dawned. After the chaos, the sun rose over a transformed world. Pristine snow, golden light, and long blue shadows created a scene of peace and beauty. The destructive power of the storm gave way to serene stillness. Recovery began, hope returned, and the worst was over. Landscapes, rural fields, city parks, were perfect, untouched canvases. The air was crisp, the world brand new. These images captured the magic of the morning after, beauty made profound by the storm. The sunrise symbolized resilience, nature, and people alike. After every storm comes the calm, and after darkness, the light. The perfect image to end our journey. That's a wrap. We just witnessed the most epic images from the 2024 cold blast. From frozen Niagara Falls to snow-covered New York, nature's power was on full display. If you were blown away, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Drop a comment. What amazed you most? The frozen falls, abandoned cars, or Central Park's crystal forest? Your support lets us keep making these wild videos. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and see you in the next one. Until then, keep your eyes open for the next big story.